Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, a member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com. Find another podcast that is not as good as ours, because I promise they're not. And don't forget to go to bigjujitsu.com. Listen to some of the other episodes, buy a shirt, buy a patch, and support us. So I'm Rob the Lord Humongous.
And I'm Shawn the Duke Humongous.
Yeah, we're using the nicknames today. I'm sorry, I sound like Steven Seagal a little bit today with my scratchy voice. But, all right, pause there. That's fine.
Were you waiting for a...
I was hoping for...
Because I've been hanging with Rob here like the last 3 days since he's been in town, and he insists his scratchy voice and whooping cough are due to allergies, but I actually think he has a virus or HIV of some sort.
The bad AIDS. Not even the good AIDS, but just straight up the bad AIDS. So,
well, at least it's not canicifil AIDS. You don't want that.
I hear that's a sexy disease, though.
Oh, it's a fun thing to catch.
Nice. So the third person that you hear on our episode today is Vernon Kirk, and I'm not going to do much introduction for him because I want him to tell us and all the listeners who he is. So, Vernon, thanks for being on the show. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself and what you're here to promote?
All right. My name is Vernon Kirk. I run Indian Trail BJJ in Indian Trail, North Carolina. I've been working with the Good Fight Tournament Group, and we have something coming to Burlington, North Carolina called Jiujitsu Theatre. So what it is, during the day, we're going to have tournaments. It's going to be, 3-man brackets for white and blue belts, gi and no gi. You pick which one you want to do. After that, there's going to be 2-man brackets for purple. There's going to be a nice little intermission period where we're showing a kung fu movie. And then at night, we've got 10 super fights, mostly local talent, a lot of really good North Carolina guys from around, but we also have names like Gordon Ryan as our main event, going against Roger Carroll.
Oh, heck yeah.
Dude, that's going to be a good fight.
Yep, that's what I think.
So where did the idea for this Jiu-Jitsu Theater tournament come from?
Well, Jimmy from Good Fight, it was his idea. He grew up with the whole Kung Fu theater thing, and myself and one of my teammates, John Shell, we were talking with him at his tournament he had here back in February, and I liked the idea. And he's got a bunch of contact. He's up in the New York area. He knows all the guys up there. He's had Gordon. He's had Eddie Cummings, Gary Tonin, Tom the Blast all do super fights for him. But he doesn't know the guys around here. And I was helping him with a card that happened over the weekend that looked like it was a pretty good card up in Virginia. It was actually in Maryland. And none of us really knew the area that well, so it was a little harder to get fights together. Here, the biggest problem I've had is paring down the number of fights because I've got so many people who are kind of chomping at the bit. We might be making a couple of adjustments to the card here tomorrow just because Jimmy was going to be on the card, but back issues, looks like he might actually have to have surgery, so he's out. But it's been the thing he said about me, he said to me was, all you guys in North Carolina want to fight. I really like that. I was like, hey man, I like hearing that. Because a lot of black belts, especially when they hear the words sub only, no time limit, things pop up. I've got stuff to do. I don't like heel hooks, all sorts of stuff. Here it's been bring it, let's go. Who you got? What we got? So it's gonna be a good time.
That is a good time. So what about the venue? What is this particularly like a special venue, or is it a little different than your normal high school gym where you get to go do a tournament in?
So we're doing it at the Paramount Theater in Burlington. A, with the name just Jiu-Jitsu Theater, and B, after watching EBI, we were like, okay, let's do something a little bit smaller. And with all of it, the entire day is on pay-per-view. So if you're a white belt and you sign up for your white belt division, you will be on pay-per-view. So that's kind of fun. You're one of these guys, nobody gets to see you do anything. It's going to be out there for the world to see. And that's a good thing for everybody involved as far as I'm concerned, because, you never know. You might be that guy who hits that flying crazy move out of the middle of nowhere. Next thing you know, you're viral, and who knows? Women are plenty for you.
They'll be all over or dudes if you prefer, whatever. But hey, you'll be the most popular, whatever you are in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that day. So what's your background on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? How'd you get started? How'd you get,
So I'm a BJJ purple belt, and I'm also a judo black belt. I started, actually, we probably just passed my 7-year anniversary of starting. I was unemployed, about 70 pounds heavier than I am now. And my son wanted to do karate. He was 5 years old at the time. And so we lived in Mebane, North Carolina, which is where my instructor is. And we'd gone to the 2 little local Taekwondo places. And I didn't like one. And I was about to go to the other. And a friend of mine who is the one who took me to judo for the first time and to my jiu-jitsu school for the first time said, I wouldn't go there. I used to go there. It's not good. So he says, come to this judo place with me. I was like, all right, whatever. And I take my son, and he had a great time. A bunch of his little friends were already there. He had a really good time. And I was like, you want to keep doing this, buddy? He goes, yeah. I was like, all right, bet. And they look at me and they go, hey, big boy, where are you going? And I'm like, class is over. Like, the adult class is starting. I'm like, whoa, you think my 5-year-old's ready for the adult class? This is awesome. And they're like, come on, fat boy, get out here. Okay. And I was hooked. And so I did that for 6 months. Got a brand new job that was really good. And I went to jiu-jitsu class with my friend who took me, my friend Eric Sorensen. And he was like, because him and another guy who was also going to my instructor had been kicking the snot out of me on the ground. And I'm like, why are you so much better than me there? Oh, well, we train Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Well, where do you train that at? Oh, we got this guy up in Mebane. I'm like, wait, that's closer to my house. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, yeah, he's a 4th-degree black belt from Rio. There's a 4th-degree black belt from Rio in Mebane? How do I not know about this? Show up and been there ever since as well.
So you just kind of go between the two, like judo and jiu-jitsu, or you just straight jiu-jitsu now?
Well, since I've got my school, I don't have like straight judo classes. I love judo, the martial art. It's an amazing thing. Judo, the sport, sucks. I don't care what people say. I hate the sport of judo. And I'm sure I get crucified on the regular for it by judo guys. I don't care. I just don't like it. And it's, if that's what you want to do, hey man, if you're happy, you're happy. Cool. For me, my last judo tournament was back in March, and granted, I'm probably still a little salty because I also had shoulder surgery because of the tournament. But you know what? It's just I like a faster paced environment, but when you're going to call Shido every 5 seconds because both my hands were on the same side, or I stepped back twice trying to set up a throw, with these younger guys that are really strong and really fast, you can do that. But when you get older, you want to play the game a little bit more. You want to set things up, and with the way rules are nowadays, you just can't do that.
So it's so I know that I've had a conversation. One of my students, he's a judo brown belt.
Yep.
And he said it's you got to be careful with it because jiu-jitsu could very well start going that direction as well with rule sets.
And I agree with you on that. And that's why everybody who keeps saying, let's put judo in jiu-jitsu in the Olympics. No. Because with judo, it's not a very popular sport in the U.S., but like it's the number 1 sport in France. It's real popular down in Brazil, even in, probably not as much as jiu-jitsu, but it's still a very popular sport. A lot of like Eastern European, Japan, obviously. But what they're doing a lot of times with these rule sets, it's because they want spectators to watch. And you may not know what's going on, but you see one guy flying through the air and hit the mat. You're like, oh, that's really cool. Jiu-jitsu is I like the sub-only concept because it takes away the aspect of stalling. You see it with a lot of these like super fight events like Metamoris or Polaris, and you're getting, near the final bell. You can tell who's winning the match, but both, especially the guy who's, probably not doing as well, kind of start to hold on for dear life, hoping that, well, I didn't get submitted. It was a draw. And I think we saw that a lot with, we've seen that a lot with certain matches where, at the end of it, everybody's claiming victory on their sides. And it's like, we all watched that. We know what happened. Don't do that.
Yeah, I was going to say one fight in particular that comes to mind. involves Cyborg at Metamoris, so you can't really call that one a victory at any stretch. You can't even say it was a shutdown of his jiu-jitsu because he just
it was straight the Cyborg shutdown. What are you talking about?
Man.
Brendan Schaub would never lie.
Oh, totally not. As soon as Cyborg hit the ground and scooted towards him, he turned and ran. So,
oh, dude, have you ever seen the one where they sped it up and put the Benny Hill music to it?
Yeah, I did. That was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think in general, even with, they got the worlds going on right now for IBJJF, and we've talked about it on the podcast before, is, a gi jiu-jitsu match, unless you know exactly what you're watching, is not that exciting for the average spectator or somebody that's not familiar with jiu-jitsu. So the appeal to get jiu-jitsu to other people, you'll see at a UFC event there'll at least be a couple exciting fights. Like I was in Vegas for the UFC fight night last Sunday, and half those fights were snoozers. The UFC. So I like the concept of what you're doing there with the submission only, no time limit to force it. Because even when you're rolling at class or whatever with somebody of a higher skill level or whatever. So sometimes the strategy for me is let somebody gas out and then I go for the submission. Like that's a technique. So maybe you'll see more of that. Or what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think a lot of it is when points. I love I do points tournaments all the time. I obviously a month and a half out of surgery. I couldn't compete yesterday, but coaching all my guys over at Naga in North Carolina, and it's one of those ones where, I'll do it when I'm competing. I'll do it when I'm coaching. There's a minute and a half left. I'm up. I'm going to smash you into the mat, and I'm going to hold on for dear life if I know I'm not going to get the sub. Why? Because I'm going to win. But when you don't have to worry about those things, you're just freer to move and go, and you're not worried about, okay, well, if he rolls me and I'm only up by one, oh, man, then I'd be losing. You're going to go for broke because you don't have to worry about those points. You're going to worry about, obviously limbs and position and everything else, but you're not going to worry about losing because of that. You're not going to, if you see an opening, you're going to take it and not worry about, well, what if? You're just going to go because you're like, oh, there it is, like you do in class. I think a lot of guys in class, they're a little bit more daring because you get tapped out in practice, but when you step up to a tournament, I think you've got that in your mind the entire time. I remember last IBJJF event I did, I got held. I didn't win a single freaking match, but I got held a lot. I was in somebody's guard trying to pass, and I was giving him I do it all the time anyways, but I gave him my arm. I was literally like, here's an arm bar, here's the triangle, do something, please. Held, locked his legs and held on for dear life. I'm like, oh, there's 3 minutes left in this match. You're just going to sit here for 3 minutes, aren't you? Son of a bitch. So,
I know,
at least.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, I know that's got to be frustrating because you want to work.
Exactly. At a bigger event, yes, you want points for your team. Yes, all of that matters. But unless there's really money on the line, aren't you? I love the guys who I'm going to get the advantage and hold on. Why? Is that making you better? You want a medal, go buy one from the store. They're probably $5 or less a piece. You can make it look just like it. It's not that hard to do. But to me, I like to have fun with it. Like I said, if it's near the end of the match, it's a different animal. But, when you've got, more than half the match to go, work a little bit. That's all.
Instead of just stalling out. That's so either we can keep going that route, and this is like my feeling, or like you said, we go take it to the Olympics, and then it turns into a complete spectator sport. Now we don't have anything kind of resembling what we've been working on recently. Well,
and it's like this. Jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, is never going to be that big of a spectator sport. You do need events like EBI that are a little bit more exciting to kind of draw in the masses. Having that on Fight Pass is a really cool thing. But in all honesty, I don't think we're ever going to see the day where Mundials or on ABC Sports or ESPN or something like that. It's just never going to happen. And that's not a bad thing. It's really not. But if you can get people excited, if you can get people involved, that's the whole point of having it be a spectator sport, that money. Now, if you're going to get really good, if you compete at the higher levels, there's starting to be more money available. Are you going to be, a $5 million a year athlete like you are in the NBA? No. But can you make a couple of $100,000 a year between competition and seminars and having your own school? Absolutely. So you can make it a good living, but it's just that you're not driving a Bentley, but you still got a Mercedes. Make it, you can make a living and do what you love to do. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. So then, so you don't think it'll ever be like a super spectator sport? Because I was thinking about it too while you were saying that. I remember back on like ESPN, not like prime time or anything. They used to show the old kickboxing matches, like the old school kickboxing ones. But with that, people knew, like, if you're getting hit in the face, you can tell who's winning when they're getting punched or kicked in the face. But do you think there might even come a time where it's just maybe even on ESPN, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, the Ocho, like whatever fucking channel we can get it on? Do you think that's viable?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I think that is a possibility. But when I say, the UFC is approaching the fame of the Big Four. I think hockey's no longer really one of the Big Four, but I've never really paid attention to hockey anyways. And you kind of have NASCAR, creeping up there too. But those are going to be like those sports, soccer, all of that. You're never going to have, at least maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think you're going to ever have jiu-jitsu be that big. But I do think you can get it to the point where it's bigger and you are on ESPN or you're on, you're doing something like that, but just don't expect your highlights on SportsCenter. Maybe but like you don't see the karate highlights on SportsCenter either. You see boxing, they got Glory now. Who knows? The more we walk down these roads, anything's possible. I just don't see it as even wrestling. Wrestling is one of those sports where I think should be out there more, but it's just not. Judo is in other countries, just not here. So who knows? Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I just don't know if I am.
Yeah, I wonder if it has anything to do also with like the our culture's view of personal space. So the thought of two people rolling on the ground at like such a close distance doesn't really do it for a lot of people, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like I think that also might have something to do with it.
Well, it's funny because to this day, people don't get the effectiveness of jiu-jitsu. My next door neighbors, not my next door neighbors, but one of my students, his stepdad and his uncle, one's a boxer, one's a karate guy, and they both sit there and they're like, man, that jiu-jitsu stuff would never work on me. And I'm like, really? Like, you knocked me out before I put my hands on you? Yes, of course. But go rent UFC 1, and you tell me what happens.
So like on that same line, like what are some of the craziest people you've met? Like, because I'm trying to segue this into a story. Shawn, he met somebody at a post office.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so actually, Shawn, why don't you tell us a story real quick? It's a pretty good story.
No, I was just going to ship out a rash guard on, I think it was Friday, to somebody that bought one from me. And she was like, oh, what's so light? Why are you sending this priority? And I was like, oh, it's a jiu-jitsu rash guard. And she was like, oh, yeah, I used to do jiu-jitsu. I actually was a yellow belt and got promoted directly to black belt after I told my instructor I was at a haunted house and I had subdued one of the workers at this haunted house. And I was like, I was going to bust her out. I wanted to really bad, but I just kind of smiled and was like, oh, that's pretty awesome,
Yeah, some people it drives me up the wall. So I know, like, not saying that, like your family, your neighbors or whatever you're saying about boxing or it doesn't work, but has there been anybody you've ever run into that has given you like this off the wall jiu-jitsu story or like martial arts story?
I've had a couple. One of my personal favorites is at a school I was visiting. One of the little kids who was there, a real nice kid. Mom was a little on the trailer parky side.
Nice.
And she starts telling me how she was doing Japanese jiu-jitsu and she was a black belt and she'd won all these tournaments. And I was like, oh, that's really good for you. No, that's awesome. And then I found out a week later she was busted at the pilot for hooking.
What?
I was like, wow, somebody was paying for that? That's kind of rough.
well, at the same time, the kid's got to go to class, so
yeah,
going to pay for it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like you can always tell, like you get those senses where something is off. There's always that you have those people with those conversations, and like I know people who still think Steven Seagal is, lack of better terms, is real, and it's like, do you not listen to him talk? Do you not understand? I'm like, Aikido is really cool, but it's one of those things where it's like, you put a D1 wrestler in. Have you guys ever seen the Facebook trolls, little Aikido guys, and they'll join groups, or they'll friend you on Facebook and they're an Aikido guy, and they keep posting see, Aikido is better than Jiu-Jitsu, and it'll be some idiot in one of their students in a jiu-jitsu gi wearing a blue belt or maybe a purple belt coming at them, and you can tell it's a demonstration, and he's just tossing them through the air. And I'm like, I was in a judo coaches group, and somebody joined, and they posted that link, and everybody starts losing their minds. And I go, don't feed the troll. Don't do it. Leave him alone. If we leave him alone, he won't do this stuff again. And then one of the coaches starts coming after me. He's like, how are you calling me a troll? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't know who the fuck I am. And I'm like, before I can say it, 3 other people hopped in. They're like, he's on your side. Chill out. I'm like, dude, you don't know me either. Relax.
Yeah, Facebook martial arts is fucking serious business, man.
To me, it's I try to avoid as much drama as possible, but it is kind of my guilty pleasure to watch some of that stuff unfold, or even better, I'm still I'm obsessed with no touch knockouts and things like that. Those
are great.
I'm going to find a sensei good enough to teach that to me one day, I swear.
I want to get one of those guys in the school, or possibly even get him on the podcast. We are still searching for a fake black belt to get on this podcast. James Paredes is in hiding, so that ain't happening.
I remember that. That was so funny. I was about a blue belt when that happened.
Nice, yeah. So there's somebody out there. I mean, I don't think the lady at the post office is going to be a good one, but I think
What about that guy out of Chicago, the human stun gun?
Oh, the one who I'm talking? Yeah, the one who went to Stephen Bonner's school.
Yes, well, I'm sure he'd come on.
What do you think, Shawn?
I'm willing to give it a shot. I wonder when they would catch on that we were messing with them, or if they would.
We'll find out, hopefully, right?
I think they would play along as long as you if you were playing serious the entire time, they would probably never break rank. Now, if you finally, if you busted out laughing or really took it down a nonsensical road, they would probably hang up the phone on you or something like that. But, I know the George Dillman guy, that guy, oh, he's so, have you ever seen the one where he explains why it doesn't work on certain people?
Yeah, because he said they lift their big toes off the ground or something.
Their tongue was in the wrong part of their mouth. That's entertaining.
What I liked was the human stun gun student, or what was it? He said well, sometimes this doesn't work on natural athletes or athletic people, and well, all your students are fucking getting knocked out. So what does that say about your school?
Well, remember the one
lazy shit.
Well, my two favorite things I've seen on those are the one guy they bring in as the skeptic. He was a little 120-pound French chemist. And it was doesn't work on him either, huh? And then the other one is at the end of the little news story on the human stun gun. You have a little nerdy kid. Well, if you don't believe it, you can just come down here and get knocked out.
that is like my favorite part. Like, but the whole like, yeah, it doesn't work on athletes, but you guys can come down here and try to get knocked out. Like, I wonder if you just like run through the school with like both arms extended, doing like double clotheslines on people. Like, could they stop you? Do they know how to stop you? Or
no, of course not. No, that's the thing about it. Like, if you like, I'll make fun of certain things. I'll be the first to admit it. But it's more like I don't post half the stuff I want to, like on comment sections and things like that. Not because of the people I'm talking to, like my friends. They'll understand me, but it's their friends that lose their shit at me. Like, one of my friends posted something like, I don't like Asians joking around. And I was like, me too. They're horrible, horrible, like, you know, cursed upon this earth. My wife's Chinese. And like 5 people jumped in, you racist. And I'm like, fuck you. Go away.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the downfalls of social media is just like how easy it is to get into shit like that. Because I know I posted a video. I was working a stand up before I came out to Arizona, and I'm wrapping my hands, and there's this kid practicing. You know the PVC pipes people hold over their shoulders and they work their abs and stuff.
Yep.
Well, he's sitting there doing like a bow staff form on a heavy bag with it. So I take a video of it, of course, because, you know, it doesn't happen if I don't video it.
Exactly.
And then I put it up, and I'm like, fuck, I need to take this shit down, because now I'm videotaping this dude in the gym. That it's just weird. So, you know, some people are going to take that wrong as well.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he was in one of the gangs at his high school because he is pretty good with a bow staff, so, you know.
Sweet bow staff skills. I know Shawn frequents the gym quite a bit. Shawn, recently, have you seen anybody like shadow boxing or practicing kata in the weight room or anything?
Oh, there's always one or two going through there, you know, shadow boxing in between sets, and you're just like, oh. You know, occasionally, like, I'll play some air guitar if there's like some good 80s hits in my headphones. Like, that's kind of my guilty gym pleasure is like, it's some Journey come on and I play some air guitar.
Nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, the shadow boxers just, you know, and I even posted something like that, and I have a friend, you know, that's a pretty decent boxer, and he was like, you know, commented, why are you hating on the boxers? Me shadow boxing, man. I was like, well, you got to pass, you know. But somebody's going to take offense to anything that you say nowadays.
Kills me. It kills me, man. I can't make any jokes on here.
Well, you know, it just gets to the point with people where it's like, even like in jiu-jitsu, I swear sometimes we're going to just eat ourselves. Self-defense is better. This is better. All of it, if you're in a bad situation, if you've learned takedowns, you're probably going to be okay. If you're at a school, you always start from your knees and you never, ever learn how to take somebody down or manage a little bit of distance, yes, you're probably going to get stomped in a fight. But if you have at least learned how to block a punch and manage distance and take somebody down, maybe somebody who's done a lot more self-defense than you, they will probably be better off than you, but you will probably stand a much better chance than the average person. And it's just like, I don't get where all of it comes from. It's like, guys, we're on the same team here. Stop it.
I mean, we seriously will, like, we get as bad as CrossFitters and vegans and all that at times with our jiu-jitsu stuff. I know one of the more recent conversations Shawn and I have talked about is the use of OS and, like, the different groups of people who either use it or don't like it. Or
I listen to that, and I'm with you on the OS thing. I do not like that. Every time, especially when you're IMing with somebody and they have to IM that to you, I'm like,
IMing? Jesus Christ, how old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay, well, we're all like in the same area, yeah, because I tried to get away from you. Like, oh, yeah, dude, I IM'd you some information. Like, what the hell is that? Like, instant messaging, dude? Like,
I'm old. I'll first admit, when we moved, we cut cable because, frankly, the kids never watched it. And, like, well, we can get by on Hulu and Netflix. I'm fine with that. But, you know, I always called it, I called my wife up, like, hey, can you tape that for me? Exactly.
That's awesome.
Hey, and my kids would be like, what do you mean by tape? And I'm like, shut up.
Means, hey, can you put a blank tape in the VCR and record that for me, or the DVR,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to get that at all.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, I'm starting to realize, like, part of me is like, well, the what kids do nowadays, their music is horrible, but at the same time, it's like, as much as I hate like current hip hop, I don't want to be the guy who's sitting there like, back in my day, we had Biggie and Tupac, and this Lil Wayne suck. But I do it anyways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll talk shit about today's rap. I'll even talk shit about today's country. I think today's country and today's rap is the same thing.
I'll agree with you on that one. Country-wise, yeah, I'm kind of stuck mid-'90s. As much as I don't like Chael Sonnen, he used to walk out to a song. I actually lip sync and got I had the boots, I had the hat, the whole 9 yards on for a talent show my senior year of high school. So that was kind of annoying. But if you go country, I'm really more of like, I like the 70s. I like the old like outlaw stuff. That's would have to be my favorite.
Nice. So Vernon, before we well, actually, this is actually the part where we're gonna give you some trivia questions.
Sweet.
So you're gonna be the third person ever to participate in our trivia contest. It's not really a contest. It's like the best lap in the reasonably priced car that they do on Top Gear. And this time I get to say it like Steven Seagal because my throat's getting worse, which is awesome. But so you get 5 questions from each, one from UFC or MMA and one from just general knowledge.
All right.
Currently, Mary Holmes and James Hoffman are both tied at 5 correct questions apiece.
I heard the Mary episode.
Yeah.
So she struggled a little bit with DMA. She did better than I thought she would.
Oh, dude, she blew it out of the water in general knowledge. I was like, whoa, what the hell? Like, she killed it on that. So you get 6 right, you're in the lead. So what do you want first? Do you want the general knowledge or do you want the MMA?
We'll go general knowledge.
All right. So, general knowledge. This is arts and literature. So, like, you get kind of 5 from all the different ones.
All right.
What is the name of Sergeant Snorkel's dog in the comic strip Beetle Bailey? Don't go Googling it on your phone.
No. Hands are here. Oh. I'm going to say King, even though I know I'm wrong.
That is incorrect. It is Otto. All right.
I didn't know that one either.
Oh, dude.
I haven't seen that in 20 years.
Hey, it's a random trivia generator I have, so I can't be like, wow, this would have been really relevant about 40 years ago. So, all right, here's an entertainment, geography one. Which U.S. state's flag is the only one with a Union Jack on it?
Hawaii.
That is correct. Very good. So you're 1 of 2 right now, doing good, 50%. All right, entertainment now. As a child, what did Casper the Friendly Ghost die from?
Polio.
No, that would be even better.
I like that answer, though.
That's a better answer. That is incorrect, but the real answer is pneumonia. I think polio would have been way better. Just like kind of drive the whole vaccination thing home for people.
Dude, he did have like a disease. I don't know if we can give, because I like that answer. I don't know if we can give him credit for that. I vote we can. It's close.
We have to be fair to the others. Damn it! It's such a good answer, though. Might give him an asterisk. How about that? We'll give him an asterisk for a half right answer because they're both diseases that start with the letter P. And polio. I mean, if you said rickets, I'd probably give you a point just off of sheer hilarity. But okay, I can talk. I swear to God. Science and nature. What is odorless and tasteless in its purified form and is used in cooking to set aspics?
To what?
What is odorless and tasteless in its purified form and is used in cooking to set aspics? That's ASPICS.
I'm going to say propane because the set aspect part threw me.
That incorrect. It is actually gelatin.
Oh, okay. I was like, never mind. That just the whole set of aspects. I'm like, set
Dude,
aspects
these
of
questions
what?
are hard.
They are, aren't they? Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
I consider myself a wealth of useless information, and I am bombing royally.
okay.
I never even heard that aspects word in my life.
Yeah, that was.
Take it up with randomtriviagenerator.com. All 15,000 questions out there. 15,010 it says. So these are 5 that it picked. All right. When was Buckingham Palace built?
I'm either going to be. I'm probably going to be way too late or a little early with this one, but I'm going to say 1882.
I was going to say 1500 and something.
We'll split the difference. That is incorrect, but it is 1703.
Yeah, I knew it was either. It was either built later or much earlier. So I was like, screw it.
Now, would he have had to get 1703 on the dot? Because this is ridiculous.
If he did, that would have been good. But I was going to give him 10-year leeway either way. That's 20 years. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's all right. So 1 of 5 for general knowledge. We'll say like 1 of 2 with an asterisk because of the polio. All right. Now we're going to move on to MMA ones. So, who was the first man to win in both a Pride tournament and a UFC tournament?
Mark Coleman?
That is correct.
Sweet.
Very good. I just think back to his, I don't know if you saw it, Shawn, but when he won his tournament, he ran and tried to jump on the ropes and bounced off of them and fell off the turnbuckle. That's like my favorite Pride fighting moment of all time. All right. UFC 2 provided the debut showing for many fighters. But which longtime UFC notary made his first appearance at this show? And by notary, that is a non-fighter. I'll say that.
Gotcha. Oh, I can see the dude's face. Son of a gun.
He's still active, actually. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Shoot.
5 seconds.
This is wrong, and the only name that can pop into my head right now is Mike Goldberg, but I know it's not him.
I was going to say Bruce Buffer.
Both of those are incorrect. It is Big John McCarthy.
Oh, that's right, because they had the freaking Brazilian sheriff in that first one.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, not bad. Tito Ortiz, his first title was the newly created UFC Light Heavyweight Championship, which he won by unanimous decision in UFC 25. What was the name of his opponent in that match?
UFC 25. I know. I know it's not. It's not him. I was gonna say there's Tiger White, but I know it's not him. I'm having my days. Freaking kids. Was it Vanderlei?
That is correct. It wasn't Vanderlei Silva.
Jeez.
Man,
wow.
we're getting there. So that's 4 with the asterisks. We'll take it. So you're still.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow. I pulled that one out of my ass.
That's not too bad. All right. I believe this is question number 7. No. This is 8. Mirko Filipovic, a.k.a. Crow Cop, suffered his first MMA knockout loss in which match? You can even just tell me who knocked him out.
Kevin Randleman.
That is correct. Kevin
Nice.
Randleman knocked him out in 2004, like right after the bell sounded. And then he went on to fight Fedor after that.
Yep.
Man, 5 of 8 right now. Next question. Which Ultimate Fighter Season 1 fighter lost to Sean Shirk for the lightweight belt at UFC 64?
Diego Sanchez.
That is incorrect. It was actually Kenny Florian.
I knew it was one of the two. Son of a bitch.
All right, 5 of 9. Still not doing too bad.
The two guys who freaking fought for the 185-pound title and ended up at 145. I had a 50-50 shot. Damn it.
All right, last one. Marvin Eastman lost to Quentin Rampage Jackson, god dang, that's his name, in UFC 67.
Yep.
What is Marvin Eastman's nickname?
Oh, the Beast?
Can you be more specific?
Oh, no. I know it's the Beast something. I like, it's not the Beast from the East, but it's something along those lines.
It is actually the Beastman. So
the Beastman.
Marvin the Beastman Eastman was his nickname. So we'll give you partial credit. We'll give you 5.5 with the asterisk. Wow, this is the first ever for Big Jiu-Jitsu. So we'll get the special half point for being half right. All right, so not too bad. You are currently in the lead. 5.5 answers right.
Sweet.
Yep, so that'll be updated on the Big Jiu-Jitsu page here coming up. So before we head out, any shout-outs, where can we find you? Where can we find more about the Jiu-Jitsu Theatre tournament? Like, just lay it all out for us.
Yep, so jiujitsutheater.com. So don't be dumb like me. Spell it the right way, because I didn't know until I started doing this. You can spell theater 2 ways. And with this one, it's Jiu-Jitsu Theatre, and that's THEATRE. I always thought it was ER. .com. You'll have the current super fight update. You can sign up for the tournament. You can get the pay-per-view off of that. Everything is going to be there. I will say, they've got the Good Fight's got Instagram. They've got Facebook. The only other ones out there I'd say is, which actually I got to ask you one thing before we get out of here as well, too. I wanted Jeff Shaw to ask you about something, but he would not do it, so I'm going to do it.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I hope Jeff is listening to this, by the way. So
I hope so as well, too. And I'm only saying this is 90% joking, but I do want to know, because either I screwed up and I'm mad at you for something that you guys should be mad at me for, or, the Star Wars meme, Anakin Skywalker, heel hook.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
I think I shared it from ADCC. Usually I try to share those instead of like straight up copying them and putting them on my page.
Okay. Then they reworded, somebody reworded it and stole it from me. Fucking
really?
Bastards. Yeah, I did. So last August, speaking of Gordon Ryan, and if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go through the card a little bit here too in 1 second. Gordon Ryan was at one of my instructors' affiliate school in Lexington, North Carolina, Section 8. And, this was before anybody kind of knew who he was. And the next day I'm rolling with somebody and I caught a heel hook and I was like, oh, no wonder people like this so much. And so I get the little, and I was like, I made that little, they reworded it, but it basically, what I said is when you rip a heel hook for the first time and truly feel the power of the dark side. And that meme was reworded. And I saw that. I saw it from you guys first. I saw it from ADCC second. And I was like, somebody reworded my meme and took it. Bastards. I was proud of that one.
Absolutely not, because we've been victim to people ripping our shit off too.
Yep. And I know Jeff has gone through that as well too. And I was like, who did that? I want to know, because that was like the first one I ever really did.
And it's a really good one. Yeah, we shared it from ADCC, I think it was. So
yeah,
I'm like looking it up now. It's not on any of our uploaded it.
Oh yeah. No, man. I'm like, it's just like, that drove me nuts. I was like, bastards. It's like, did you see the hype video Gary Tonin made for like right before he fought Paul Harris at Polaris?
That's a mouthful. No, I did not actually.
Okay, so at the very end, you see the Death Star blowing up. And it says somebody's knee at the end of Tonin Palhares. So the guy who put that together got that off of Gary's Instagram page. Gary, because he's an awesome guy, reposted it from me.
Wow.
And so it's like I said, I've got a couple of good ones I've come up with, and I'm like, share them, repost them. I just want a little bit of credit. I'm a little nobody, and I want a little credit. That's all.
Well, then we're gonna give you the credit right now. So the image that we shared, that we was stolen from Vernon Kirk, was of Anakin Skywalker talking about Or it said, like you said, once you heal hook, now you know the true power of the dark side. So Vernon Kirk came up with that. So you just need to start like doing, was it watermarks on your memes for people?
I know. Well, I'm doing like, dude, I always tell people, like, because of previous jobs, what I know how to do on a computer, 99% of the world does not need to know. All of the shit I probably should know how to do, I don't know. So I get lost. So just real quick, I want to give a couple of highlights of the card before I get out of here. And since I took us down a crazy road anyways.
No, it's all good. We love crazy roads.
Main event is Gordon Ryan and Roger Carroll. Roger fought in Bellator. Gordon just won EBI 6. Roger's been around the North Carolina jiu-jitsu scene since Moses wore short pants, and frankly, just went 3 rounds with Neiman Gracie and didn't get tapped out from the same camp. The co-main event is a guy named Matt Kaplan, who is another one of those guys from that Henzo camp. He's the Good Fight 145-pound champion, and he's going up against C.J. Murdoch. The matchup before that is a guy named Jonathan Calstein, same camp, another Henzo guy, up against Sean Applegate, who's a 10th Planet guy and runs BJJ Box. He's out of Gulf Shores in Alabama. Cody Maltee, who just opened up Elevate MMA in Durham and is also a World Series of Fighting vet, is going up against one of my teammates and a very good friend of mine, Sean Burton, who's the head instructor at Evolution Self-Defense down in Concord, North Carolina. And so I know Joe Selecki is just won another title belt at 155 in MMA. He's been kind of the it guy at brown belt around here, and he's going up against a teammate of mine, Stafford Hamilton, which is going to be a really fun no-gi match. Chico Santiago from Jacksonville up against Chad Tyler out of Pendergrass in Raleigh. And those are kind of like those are the main highlights to the card right now. And I sit down with Jimmy tomorrow. We're going to we might be adding 1 or 2 things to it. Stay tuned for details, jiujitsutheatre.com.
I'm actually really, really looking forward to it. And, oh my God, I just found the picture, so I apologize. I guess we did upload it. So.
Nah, man, it's all good. Like I said, I am joking for 99% of it. It's one of those ones where it's like I've had like 1 or 2 kind of stolen, but I've never had one reworded.
Yeah, we do not touch that. I'm pretty much like, oh, that's a good one. Can I share it from here? If it's on my phone, I have to download it and then re-upload it. So
yep,
I haven't modified it. It was not me.
Oh no, bro, no. Like I said, I've done as much homework as I could, because the only other thought in my mind is maybe I saw that somewhere, and then afterwards, it's like I don't want to be like, like, oh, that was mine, I came up with it, and somebody's like, yeah, that was August, we had that back in January, you suck, my bad.
Oh damn, that would be bad. So Shawn, you got anything for us before we head out?
No, I don't think so. I'm looking forward to the event.
Yep. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching it on pay-per-view, since, well, I can't really fly out there to watch. Yep. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this has been the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, a member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Go to podbros.com. Find one of these other podcasts with a person whose voice probably sounds a little better than mine right now. But don't forget to go to bigjujitsu.com and click on everything on there. So I'm Rob the Lord Humongous.
And I'm Shawn the Dick Humongous.
And we'll catch you all next time.